into your classroom. The perfect day. The sun is shining. The heat is just right. It's 70 degrees inside the classroom and outside the classroom. Your students have their pencils and their notepads ready to learn. They're hanging on every word that you say, and it is time for you to teach. They're involved, they're raising their hands, they are participating, they are answering questions, they are waiting their turn, they're not yelling out. Perfect scenario. Imagine that. Do you think that could happen in your classroom? Let's delve into it and see if we could make that happen in our classrooms. I am so excited to see you here today at Educators with Oil. I am your hostess, Ronette Branham, ready to get into that topic of motivating students to learn, motivating students to want to learn, motivating students to be participants of their learning. That is an exciting scenario. That is an exciting path that we want to take. I just want to see if we can figure out some ways that this could happen in our classroom. We know it happens. We know it happens sometimes. We know it happens on occasion. We know it happens every week, every day. But can we keep that going all day? There are some things that I do in my classroom, and I learned from I don't know which country it is. I forgot. I should have came with that information. Learned from an article that I read about the students, and then my granddaughter, a couple of months ago, or maybe a month ago, she came with a homework assignment that discussed the same thing, and it was talking about how students work a certain amount of time during the day, then they take a break and play where they're not thinking about work at all. They're doing their own thing, whatever they choose to do. If they're coloring, playing, the article is basically about recess. But in my classroom, we work hard in the morning on literacy, take a break, then we go back to work. In the afternoon, we work hard on math, take a break, then we go back to work. So the students are ready and participating, and they understand that if they're participating and answering questions and learning something, that then they do need a break. It's not like they're sitting around daydreaming about the break. They're not participating, because why do you need a break from a break? You don't need a break from a break. So that's something that I do in my classroom. And I have a scripture I'm going to say. It is Proverbs 22 and 6. Start children off on the way they should go, and when they are old they will not turn from it. And to me, that's talking about early education, instilling positive values, in your children, in your students, and teaching them how to study, how to learn, how to be lifelong learners. So wherever they go, they will know how to learn, how to be open to the material, the content, whatever it is, that they be open to it. So we start them off early with that, knowledge of how we learn. So the thing that I started this off was going to say, how do we motivate our students? What do we do? How do we get our students to learn? We have to understand that students want to be empowered. What is it that they want? They want to be able to. Uh, they don't come to school uh, to specifically learn. They know they have to come to school, but we want them to want to learn. We want them to be excited about learning. And that's something we as educators need to work on. We have to work on our delivery. We have to work on the content. How is it that we give the students? What is it that they need to learn? Sorry about that. What is they need to learn? How do we give them the content? How do we get them? Do we just want them to regurgitate something, that we give them? I don't know. We want them to understand the concepts, understand and know it, no matter where they are. If 5 plus 5 is 10, we want them to know 5 plus 5 is 10. Why do we say 5 plus 5 is 10? How do we know that? They need to understand that no matter where they go, 5 plus 5 is 10, not just in the classroom. I understand 6 plus 4 is 10. Why is it? Why is that? How do we come to that understanding? There's something that makes that a law, that 6 plus 4 is 10. We want them to understand those laws, so we want to motivate them to have that in them to be a lifelong learner. And what do we need to do? What are some things that we need to do? Uh, One thing we need to do is when we go in the classroom, one thing we need to do, it works, is if we have clear understanding of what's happening in the classroom, why we are here, clear understanding of our expectations and what they should expect. You know, um, we're going to work on, how we always have those goals and objectives. How about we speak that to the students? This is what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn two-digit subtraction. I keep saying that because that's what we're working on. Two-digit subtraction, right? And we want to be able to regroup. How do we regroup? Why do we regroup? Where does this regrouping come from? So we want to have clear set expectations. So we want to make sure we learn this. Let's learn this today. Let's learn it however you can get it. You may not get it doing vertical addition subtraction. You may need to have tens and ones. You may need to separate the tens from the ones, subtract, and then see what you have, or subtract partial differences, and maybe not the whole difference at the same time. We need to do. You may need to have tens and ones manipulatives. Those skinnies and those bits. You may need that. You may need that 100 pack. You may need that in order to understand what's happening. I talk to my kids about a bank. You have to go to the bank. You don't have enough ones. You have to go to the bank, take this $10, this 10 skinny, take it to the bank and exchange it for 10 ones. And they get that. Students who don't get a lot, they get that. And they take that money. I heard somebody say the other day, and it's so funny because I use that kids understand money. They understand counting. They get that. You talk to them about money, you will get them. You talk to them about finance, they understand that because, I don't know why, but they do. And so I talked to them about that 10, and they said we got to go borrow uh, a 10 from these ones, but first we have to take a 10 to the bank, and then he gives us 10 ones, and we put them over there. So they get that. Now, I don't use the manipulatives. Now they do drawings. They take that 10, circle it, and then put an arrow over here and add 10 ones. So they get it, they understand. So that's our goal for the day. So how are you ready to just go play when you didn't even learn a basic about it? Maybe you don't understand everything because they didn't understand it at first, the first day. First day was like, what are we doing? I don't know. Let's try it. And now they get it. This is what we're going to learn today. Now, you learn that, but some other students, they already got that down pat. So now they're going to learn the vertical. So we need to discuss with our students what they're going to learn. What are our objectives? We have that up there, and we say that's for our principals, our administration to come and know what we're talking about. But in actuality, we're supposed to discuss that with our students. You will be able to do this when at the end of the class. That's something. And if we don't get it, then we have to work on it again tomorrow. If you don't understand it, make sure you ask questions. Make sure you say, Miss Branham, I don't get this. I don't understand. Let's try. Can we practice some more? Get that. And then have meaningful feedback. Provide meaningful. Okay, you understood that. Wait, but you don't get this. Let's work on this a different way. My students, I have 2 students. They do their work on the whiteboard, not the personal whiteboard, on the big whiteboard. You know why? Because they were borrowing a 10 and making 10 ones, and they were making it so small when they crossed it out and they subtract, they couldn't get it. They like it's all jumbled up together. Look, just help me out. Just do what I ask you to do the way I tell you, and watch, you'll get it. They still couldn't do it. They just writing scribbled all jumbled up. 2 students, more than 2, but 2 particularly, because they had their own thing. So then they would add a 10, but they would count the ones they already had. So then they only had 10, or they bunched it up so much they didn't know how many. So let's go up to the board. Use the board. You're not going to make it too small. You're going to do it. So their work, you saying, where's your work? No, I'm watching them do it on the board and get the answers. Then I check it. Then I say, okay, because I already checked it. Once I check it, I visually check it, check their work, check their answers, see if they're correct. And they're correct. Then I send them to my teacher's manual. Go check your work. They already checked it. I already checked it. I know it's all right. And because then I would say, well, you need to work on this one. You need to work on that one. Let's see what happened right there. So knowing, having that feedback, and then when they got it right, yes, now you could do the little quiz on your iPad. Go to the math section of whatever your math is at, wherever your math is at. Go there and do the quiz. See if you actually have it. And then they're excited because I gave them feedback. You did a great job. They do a great job. They get 100. I go get a sticker. I let them put their own stickers on the paper. Sometimes if I have it right there, if I don't keep them up on my stickers, get a sticker, put it on your paper, take that home, or let me put it up on the wall. That's what we do. So we have that in that supportive learning environment where they could come to me. Okay, I need 4 people right here at the table. Who needs help? They come here. Yesterday I had extra kids in my class. A teacher was out, and I had a student. She understands it. She couldn't. She right now she's not able to use the number. Say 7 minus 5 is 2. She can't do that. She just is not ready for that. So she uses the drawings, right? So she has it. She getting them all right. I had 4 other students who needed my help, and I was like, "Can you just go to your seat?" She understands that her teacher's going to help her. So where she is right now, she wants that support of being next to me, getting it right, and I know that she's getting it. And she's not to the point yet where she could go to herself and then come back to me and say, "Can you check this? Did I get it right?" She wants me to watch her do it. So okay, then you move over here, right here, because she's talking out loud, she's doing everything, and I need to help these students. But you have to have that supportive learning environment where they can ask for help, and you're not. Well, I taught it already. Oh well, no, we're not doing that because why are you here? Why are you in the classroom? We're in the classroom to educate our students. Educate our students the best way we can. With what we have. Remember, this is educators with oil. We need to go in with that oil, saying, "This is how." I just was talking to a car dealership. I was talking to the president of the company, and that sounds great, right? It shouldn't be because I should not even know who he is. But because I'm asking the manager of the service department something, he was nasty. He's like, I asked him, "Could I speak to the technician?" He said, "No, technicians, they don't get paid by talking to customers. They get paid by doing their work." Okay, but I need to talk to him, right? He won't let me talk to him. He said, "I'm a technician." Okay, but you're not a technician. You may have been. I don't care about that. You didn't look at my car. You didn't touch my car. You don't understand actually what the guy saw. And then you're seeing something different than he said. So it was like not that supportive environment where I could ask a question and it wasn't sarcastically given back to me. So that is something that we need to be able to and encourage the students to reflect and do self-assessment. So what did you do here? How come you did that? Why is that like that? Explain it to me. And then they can reflect. I did that. Oh, this is why I made a mistake. Oh, I got all that right because I understood all of this. So having that in our classroom is something that helps our students. And then as they work as hard as they can or as hard as they want to for that day and they are actually working, give them a break. We start school at 9. We start instruction at 9:10. 10:30, give them a break because they're working. They're constantly working from 9:10 until 10:30, 10:40. I mean, constantly working. And give them a break. I need a break. You need a break. They need a break. Everybody needs a break by 9:40 at least. 9:30. I mean 10:30, 10:40 at least. Give them that 10 minutes. My boss said 5 minutes, but I just smiled when she said it because they get 10. I sometimes compromise, put it set the alarm for 7 or something like that. I used to put up. I usually last year I set a time. I said you got 1 minute. When I say 1 minute, that means that's cleanup time. Now they're hearing an alarm. I'm forgetting about the alarm, so they just start cleaning up at that alarm. So however you want to do it, let them take a break. They work on their math and let them take a break. They're working hard. They're getting it. Their brains are stressing. Let them take a break. That's like research shows that. Let the kids have recess. Let them have a break and without you giving them something to do during that break. You know, don't involve me. I don't want to be involved in your break. I don't want to. I'm I'm getting ready for the next thing. You know, getting ready for the next thing. I'm getting ready for math. Whatever we're getting ready for. I'm getting ready for science. I have to gather some material. So while you're taking a break, I need that time to pull some material. And otherwise, we don't even have time to pull material. I don't know. I guess during our prep, we're supposed to have everything ready for the next day. But if you have to use your computer, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Then you have to, it doesn't work like that. So I use that time. Sometimes I use it to help another student, but no, it's time for a break. You know, do it like that. That is research based. That's not even me giving you advice. That is research based information, research based strategies. Not only research based, Bible based strategies. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart. He won't. He will learn how to learn. Be a lifelong learner. I am still a lifelong learner. Somebody trained me a long time ago how to study. I don't know. I could teach anybody how to study, like an older student. Small kids too. I teach them how. Just say they have spelling words or something like that. I teach them how to say the word, spell the word, say the word. Use it in a sentence. What is it? What it is not. That kind of stuff. I teach that, and that's research based. It's not something I just made up, but it works, and it has worked for me, and it works for my students or whoever it is I'm tutoring. So that's just something um, that I do. I'm sorry. Um, so that's it. So I don't know if you want to. What I say that will help you have the perfect classroom. Have it. Not only we could talk about meeting their needs, creating that environment. That's really where I was going today, and I changed it because that's something that just came. Uh, Creating that environment, that other environment where it's an inclusive classroom where everybody is family. I say family. We have to be there every day for 6 hours, so we have to like. We don't have to like each other, but we cannot be mean to each other. That kind of stuff. That's another subject for another day. So, what again? I say train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart. He will remember what you taught. He will go back and say, "This is what I need to do," and so that's it. Um, it works. It's Bible principles. It is principles of educational principles, right? You teach a child how to study. You hear people say, teach a child how to fish. They'll be fishing for life. But if you give them a fish, they'll eat for that day. But you teach them how to study, teach them how to learn, create that environment that shows them, that demonstrates, and they will be well on their way. Start them as they're young. Again, this is Ronette Branham, Educators with Oil. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This where I provide biblical strategies to educators for ed, uh, teaching effectiveness. Yes. Thank you again and have a blessed day.